I was just seeing the news the other day where they had shown how today AI can actually generate an entire movie just by receiving some prompts from us. Today, technology has reached to such a level where you can have computers and AI actually write a whole book for you. They can write your thesis, they can write your comprehensions, they can write essays, they can write poetry, it can create a movie, it can create images based on what we tell them. Now, this kind of technology makes me question as a parent that when we are so stuck up in teaching our children things like, they need to by heart the names of the cities, they need to know their tables by heart, they need to get 10 on 10 in this subject, they need to get 50 on 50 in that subject. I sometimes wonder that are we really preparing our children for the technology that is coming up today? Because remember, this education that our children are going through was created on the times that were existing say 10, 20 years ago. But times are changing so rapidly, the world is so dynamic. Today every 2, 3 years or 5 years, the world of technology is completely changing. In such a situation, how much should we focus on training our children to learn these things that are becoming increasingly archaic, versus can we actually focus on spending time teaching our children those skills that machines and technology cannot copy, skills that can help them connect to human beings like social skills, empathy, sympathy, compassion, even creativity. How many children in the current education system are actually learning to be creative? Of course, one can argue that these subjects and the whole education system also trains the children in discipline, in perseverance, in follow through, in thinking, and I agree with that. However, I think as parents, when I see so many parents making their relationship with their child so toxic just because they are so stuck up on their children learning those subjects that are being taught in school, and in that process traumatizing the children, abusing the children. To such parents, I would say that please have a little wider perspective, because the world is changing so quickly. Our children's brains need to rewire, to adjust to the world that is amongst them today. And for this, I think children need to be more unstructured, they need to be more creative, they need to be comfortable with changes. What I have seen is parents in their parenting styles are today making the children so used to structure. In fact, everything about the child's life is structured, where the play is structured, their creative time is structured, their study is structured, that children are finding it difficult to cope up with the constantly unstructured and changing dynamics, whether it is in workplace, whether it is in friends, whether it is with technology. So I think as parents, we need to really think how important it is for you to really force that child, threaten, punish the child to learn those subjects and to master the subjects which he or she may not even be using as an adult in the new world. I think as parents, we need to step back sometimes and see what are we really teaching our children. When it is our parenting, are we building the connections? Are we developing the confidence in the child that the child can manage with the changing dynamics all over the place? Is the child learning to think out of the box? Is the child being creative? Is the child able to connect to other children or adults? Does the child have skills that will make the child comfortable with human beings? Because remember, most of the things that your children will learn to do in school is everything that now the machines are doing, any which ways. So really, I don't have answers to these questions, but I do have a lot of these questions that come up when I see how much the technology has changed our world today and how the technology is progressing with coming times. We have to train our children for the future, yeah, not for the past or not for the present. So as parents, please think a few times before you threaten, punish or beat up your child for that one subject or two subjects that the child is not good at or struggling with. Because ultimately that may not even help the child, or that may not be needed after 10 years in the child's life. At the same time, activities like sports, creative pursuits also help the child build the life skills that are needed to succeed at work. Sports can also inculcate discipline, perseverance, hard work, team spirit. How many of us are encouraging our children to have a career in sports? How many of us are encouraging children to have career in other alternate pursuits? And also remember that not all children need to excel. So a lot of questions coming up as we see the world changing around us, and today I thought let me share some of these questions with you, because as a parent I am also thinking these things, that when I see the technology and computers doing things that practically what all of us have studied our whole life to do, today within 30 seconds a computer can actually give you a whole chapter in a book, then really what are the skills that we need to handle this technology in the future is something that our children need to be prepared with. And I hope as parents you also give some thoughts to it, and if you have any ideas, please share in the comments below.